Hey, welcome to All Things Business Book Review. And we're going through Beach Money. We thank you for joining us tonight. We're having an exciting crusade through this book, and I hope you guys have got a chance to read it and maybe join us tonight. If not, get the book and go through the chapters. Today, we're going to go through chapter 19, 20, and 21. So hang on your seatbelts, go grab your coffee or juice or something, or get your potato chips and come join us and just relax and enjoy and learn. And tonight in the studio, we have with us, we got none other than Miss Kathleen Williams from Sacramento, California. Miss Williams, are you there?
I am. Good evening, sir.
How you doing? I told everybody we look like we're matching early. You got the olive on, and I got the beige on, so it looks great.
I agree. I am doing fantastic.
Thank you, dear. You always look great. Thank you for all that you do. Next, we have Mr. Harrison Mills, who's coming out of Fresno, California, out by the pool. Where you at, sir? There. Oh, there he is. I know he's out there enjoying that beautiful sunshiny weather in California.
How you doing?
Good, sir. Good having you. Good seeing you. Good having you. Good
to be here. Hey, did I tell you it's one of my favorite books?
Yeah, you just said that a little before we got on the call here, how that's your favorite book. And it's a great book. I mean, Jordan does a great job in this book, and better than Beach Money. And then Beach Money, I love it. I love it. I love it. Also in the studio, we have with us Ms. Roxanne Corlejo joining us from San Antonio, Texas.
Hello,
in her beautiful
good
place.
Evening.
Boy, I tell you what, Taco Lady is showing up and ready to go. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we greatly appreciate it. Please leave a comment. And most important, hit the notification bell. And another good thing that might bless you is send it out to 3 or 4, maybe 7 people. 7 means complete. And let them share into it and discuss it together. So today we're going to take off from chapter 19, 20, and 21, like I said earlier. So let's just dive into chapter 19. And title says, "Come here, I want to show you something." And in the first paragraph, he talks about your TV is the reason you are struggling with this business, because we're talking about network marketing. And he talks about the average person spend 4 to 6 hours a day in front of the TV set, a time they could be doing something more productive. And his gentleman he's talking says, that's right, that's a fact. 4 hours of television every day. He says that is why people cannot be successful. With that said, Miss Kathleen Williams, what do you think about that first part in the first paragraph there?
It is so true. The amount of time people spend in front of a TV. If I spend an hour, there's only certain things I watch. Even when one of the teams I have 100% support that's playing tonight, it's on, the TV is physically on, it's on mute. But yeah, I can see people doing that.
Yeah.
They come home, flop down in front of the TV, and sit there, and their bodies show it.
Yeah, which is sad because they want better things. And I learned a long time ago, the guys on the court playing basketball, or the guys in the field playing football, or whatever sport, the ones on the field makes the money. The ones on the beaches play to watch the guys who make the big money. I want to be on the field, and that's what it takes to have a little sacrifice. Mr. Harrison Mills, what's your thought?
Hey, I want to own the field. So I guess the same thing right now. The thing right now is going on is marathons. So like Queen Latifah marathons. Let's watch all of her movies, or a TV series. Like let's watch all of those marathons. So it's almost like it just kind of plugs you in where you don't even know. You're just on a routine kind of thing, to the point where you got to go like, it's almost like this now. Now I want to move myself away from that. Now I want to go surfing on my phone. So now we go from there. Now you're not watching movies, but you're just surfing through. You probably were going to be productive, but you get to the point where it's just like, what am I doing?
I understand. I don't even do that. I got too many important things to do. I really do. It's sad, but that's what people do for relaxation, or however they want to put it, whatever category they want to put it in. Miss Roxanne Corlejo, what's your view on that?
So this is kind of my favorite chapter because I don't have a TV. That wall behind me is supposed to be where his TV is supposed to go, and it has all the wires and cords for it, and people think I'm crazy, but I haven't had a TV for years for that reason. But what stood out to me also the most, and I circled it, is hello, because that is Mr. LT to the T right there. I heard that ringing. I read it. I didn't say hello. I read it as hello. That's exactly how I read it. But I mean, absolutely. I threw out my TV years ago because I realized that not only that it's a negative that came from it. All the what is it? Those reality shows and all the gossip and all the ugliness from the news. Even though some people like they say we got to know what's going on in the world, all that's politically fed, and I tossed it.
Yeah, most people, their reality is so bad that that's why they watch shows to get a life, and still it doesn't help them any. And then we try to live with something they're not. So I agree with you, dear. That's powerful. I like that. No TV and hello. I'm going to go to the second paragraph. He said, so he went to an event. He went home and unplugged his TV set. And for the next few months, he found himself spending more time reading and listening to personal development, which I wish everybody in our audience out there around the world be doing that as well. Because I was saying too, all the TV does sometimes is give us red eyeballs and a hollow head. So we don't learn very much, but we're entertained with that. Miss Kathleen Williams, what you want to comment?
That's very true. There's nothing good. I would rather sit down and spend 4 hours reading all the way through this book than watching 4 hours of TV. I will get more out of it. I will gain. It also gives me, shutting off the TV gives me an opportunity to reach out to people and have a conversation with them.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. Love it. And also, I'm going to read this, Mr. Mills, if I bring you up. It says, I have not had a television set for about 25 years, just like Miss Corlano there. And during those years, I made millions. Let me say again, made millions, audience, millions of dollars in network marketing, and I didn't miss any TV, not one bit. Wow, Mr. Mills.
Didn't miss a beat. Hey, these days it's so doable. You can create your own television show if you wanted to. Personal development. You can go into YouTube and do that thing, or you can do podcasts. But you can make whatever it is that you decide that you want to actually input into yourselves for 4 or 5 hours or whatever it may be while you're being productive.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Very good. Miss Roxanne?
Yeah, when he says I did not have a television set for 25 years, I feel like some people kind of take that to the extreme and might be like, oh, well, like, I don't want to not watch anything for 25 years. That's not what he's saying. And same thing with myself is that I've still seen movies. I've still seen shows. I still have a Netflix subscription. The only thing is I removed the ease and the comfortability of actually sitting for 4 straight hours in a comfortable recliner and watching a big screen TV. Now it's not as comfortable on an iPad or a phone or something like that, but I still get that fix. So he didn't say he never went to a movie theater. It's just, he just didn't have that ease of sitting in front of a TV.
Very good point. Now that, save on a subscription. You can get everything for free nowadays on all these other things to Hulu and everybody else. He said, the next paragraph, he said, 5 years ago, he picked up a condo in Vegas on the Strip with panoramic views looking north to south. Let me tell you about that place. And I've been there several times. That place on the Strip is gorgeous. I mean, it's at, oh my God. It used to be called the Oriental, and they changed the name because that's not a good name, Oriental, but this place on the Strip is on that floor looking out is breathtaking. He's right there dead on Vegas Boulevard. And he said, this is funny. So he said he went out and bought the place on the Strip, and then he went out to look at a TV, and he only wanted to spend $750 to decorate the place. And then he walked to the showroom, and the guy had a 60-inch screen TV with 3D glasses, and he couldn't believe what it looked like. And he said to him, how much is it? He said it was $6,500. I'll say it again. It was $6,500 back then for this TV when it first came out, the 3D with the glasses. Yeah. And it was a 3D TV. I'm sorry. He said, I'll take it. He wouldn't have spent $750, but he ended up spending $6,500 because what the gentleman, it's how he sold it to him. He just said, let me show you something. That's all. Let me show you something. Let me show you. That's all I needed. Let me show you something. Miss Kathleen Williams.
Let me show you the latest shiny toy. No matter what we do in our lives, at times, those shiny objects pop back up, and we have to have them. We don't need them. We think we do.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So true. So, Mr. Mills?
Hey, I'll take it. 6,500. If it can, the cool thing is that this man just went into a place and just said, I'll take it. 6,500. I'm thinking to myself, most people will be like this. I'm going to lease it. I'm going to put it on my credit card. He didn't do all that. So I'm thinking like to be in a place like that, to say whatever it may be, that 6,500, you throw that at me, it's just like this. Let's do it. Wow.
Yeah. You know, the crazy part is in the next paragraph, he said he owned a 3D TV for 5 years and he had only watched 3 3D movies. He said over time, he realized it cost him $2,000 a movie. What a great way to bring it down to reality, Miss Roxanne.
Absolutely. There's so many things that we've spent so much money on and don't even stop and think about it. And we didn't get the true value of it because we were sold it. But the best way we were ever sold anything is that phrase, let me show you something.
Yeah.
Because they showed it, they demonstrated it, and it just was something cool at that time.
Yeah. You know what I got out of this for me is he struggled. Watch this. And been all these other MLM companies. And he struggled. And all of a sudden he started making money. That, think about it. Now you can afford to walk in there and say, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Probably put on the credit card, got the points, and paid it off next week anyway. That's the beauty of it, because that's what I want you guys to get out of this book. He struggled, but boy, how he walked in there. And think about how many of us could pay $6,500 for a TV set. Wow, that's what I got. So that was a blessing. I'm going to go to page 95, the last paragraph. And this is what he got out of the salesman at Soldman TV. He said, I learned so much in 30 minutes from this salesman. He taught me, listen up, everybody. This is a key right here. It's a drop in the lug. He taught me to talk less and show more. To talk less. Wow. And so many people get out, a little bit fire hose people down. He said, I'm going to start again. I learned so much in 30 minutes from this salesman. He taught me to talk less and show more. He reminded me that the being simple is better than being good. Ladies and gentlemen, being what? Simple is better than being good. I also realized that he didn't do much to sell me a $6,500 TV. He just showed me. Wow, Miss Kathleen Williams.
Showing is simpler, easier, and takes a whole lot less words than to keep yakking.
Show me the money, Jerry McGuire. Show me the money.
Mm-hmm.
Just show the TV, Mr. Mills. I'm sorry.
Hey, so this is what 25 years does. When you shut off the television, you start to focus on what I can do, more skills, what I can do, just to show you what 25 years of just shutting it off. And you start to be more observant of like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? What the things I can do, that he saw that it's in the simplicity.
Wow. Very good, sir. Wow. Miss Roxanne.
So this actually reminded me of something that happened last week. And I put the note here of what had happened. And it says, being simple is better than being good. And I had someone ask me to do a presentation for her. And I said, okay, I'll be there. And then on the phone on my ride over there, she was downloading slides and stuff. And since she was downloading it, I said, are you presenting? She said, I can. I said, okay, go for it. I'll be there to clean up anything. And so I'm mentally taking notes and I'm quiet. She's going through her presentation and she is messing up left and right. The compensation plan, she's reading it from the screen and you can tell she's not even understanding how we're making money. And at the very end, she finished all the slides and she said, okay, when are you ready to get started? And I'm like, whoa, we missed a whole bunch here, but hey, we're going with it. I was waiting for his response and he looked at his calendar and he goes, okay, I can actually sign up on the 17th. I didn't have anything to say. I said, ma'am, I was here for backup. I have nothing to say. You won. And she wasn't good because she didn't even have a lot of the information correct. She just did it and kept it simple. And that's what's so great about not having all the information is that she had to be simple.
But you know what? It was so amazing because as a leader, let me say this, as a strong leader, let me back it up. A strong leader, you didn't say anything. See, a leader would have came in and said, let me explain what she didn't do. No, be quiet. She's done it. And the person said, let's go. Somebody else would have kept talking. I love that you sat back and said, let's do it. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She said, I need more practice. And I said, yep.
I remember a guy I was down in Bakersfield, this guy, and he's Spanish, and he went up there and he boxed it up so bad. And on a stage, we had a couple hundred people that night, and he and people just got involved. Hey, he said, if I get nervous, I may convert to start speaking Spanish rather than English. And he did. It was so funny. And people loved it because it showed the human side of him. I'm going to jump over here to page chapter 20 on page 96 for those that are out there, the audience following in the book. Why most fail. I'm going to read the first paragraph. We live at a fast pace. I want it now society. With online technology, access to instant information, and Google Life is moving faster and faster, and our attention span is getting quite short. And a lot of people, he's talking about want it fast. They want to get rich quick in 2 to 3, 5 months. He says in the next paragraph, says, the number one downfall for most network marketers is the short attention span. And I'm going to drop down a few sentences left. It says, people that achieve their dreams don't have a short attention span. Miss Kathleen Williams.
That's true. If you look at the successful entrepreneurs, they look at the long term. They don't look at the short term. And people's attention span over the last few years does seem like it's got shorter and shorter and shorter. And people want answers faster and faster and faster. And in some cases, you can't provide those. And they look at you weird, like, what do you mean?
This reminded me, I was listening to Mr. Unger, who was Berkshire Hathaway second. Berkshire, go ahead and say it for me. He was second in command under Mr. Warren. And he said, you know what, we did investments, we look for the long term. Mm-hmm. We barely sold. We looked long term, and that's what he's saying here. And I thought about that when I was reading this. Mr. Harrison Mills, what do you think about that?
Oh, there's so much I can say. There's a quote that you sent out, and a couple other people sent out to me. When God wanted to make a king out of David, He didn't give him a crown. He gave him Goliath. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Wow," and just going and now I went down a rabbit hole. What more about David? And the one thing about him is. It took years for him to get to that point, but we see the point of, this man just conquered Goliath. And so it had me just kind of thinking. I look at different people that have made, certain high positions in network marketing in less than a year or so. But, I don't know their experience. I don't know what they did to get there. All I see is that. And so now it makes me wonder, it takes a while to get this. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Yeah. Everyone would do it. So give me my Goliath is what I'm saying.
I like that. And most people won't get a Goliath because they're sitting on the couch eating bonbons, watching, whatever. I like this next part on page 97. 97, it's like this halfway down the second paragraph. And this is what he talks about how to be successful. It says, you are the ultimate source of your business. Just like you said, Mr. Mills, you are. I am. Miss Roxanne Coralino is, Mr. Mills. This one, you are the ultimate source of your business. Years of personal development, growth and investments, and required prior to the success launch of your business. So he says, we all have false starts, failures, and setbacks are just part of the preparation for your successful launch. You just said that, Mr. Mills. Miss Roxanne, comment on that for us.
Absolutely. When he talks about the attention span in network marketing, it baffles me because some people will say, well, I'll see how it works in 30, 60, 90 days. And if you think about a job, do you go into a job thinking you're only going to be with them for 30, 60, 90 days? Do you think about a business you're going to start up and be with them for 30, 60, 90 days and see if this works? Anything that we do an investment, you're not sitting and saying, oh, I'll see what the investment turns over in 30 days. Absolutely not. There's so much in real estate, whatever it is. So why do people have this mindset in network marketing and expect it to be different than anything else that we do to make money? Everything else that we do to make money. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't go into jobs, say, I need a job. Well, let me try it out for 90 days. They're not going to hire you.
No.
Let me try it out for 90 days. I may not want to be here. They will never hire you. I like that. All right, Miss Williams, I'm going to go down to the second half of the paragraph down here, halfway through the page. It says an Olympic athlete trains for years prior to actually to actual competition. Only one person goes home with the gold. Wow. And I'm going to drop down a little bit for 2 more paragraphs down. A doctor will go to school for 8 to 10 years and invest $200,000 before earning a penny. And then they'll work 15 hours a day for $100,000 per year. He said a normal investment of $500 or so could start a network marketing opportunity and easy get up to 1 or 2. You give up after 1 or 2 setbacks. Most people give up after 1 or 2 things go wrong. And it says at the bottom of the page, I'll have you comment, Ms. Williams, successful entrepreneurs are problem solvers and have a long-term vision for their business. It's the only thing that works. Miss Williams. Woo, that was a lot.
That is a lot. And the athletes train for years and years and years before they get huge success. Professionals, whether it's doctors or lawyers or any of the other professionals, go to school for years and years and years before they make any money. And I can tell you, even today, many doctors aren't making $100,000 a year. They're making a whole lot less with all their experience. And the entrepreneurs that I see succeed, no matter what their setbacks are, look long-term.
Yeah.
Yes, we may have had a fire in the business, but we keep going forward. We figure out how to make it work. We don't close the business down.
Yeah, I had this week. Thank you for that. When I was on this golf tournament, 2 of my buddies, they're all business owners, and one was selling his business for a large amount, and a deal did not close. And I was sitting in a golf course thinking, like, man, wow. And then he said something to me that struck me. He said, I should have started doing what you're doing, Al Thomas. And I sat there. I mean, we're close. We're dear friends. I couldn't say nothing. But then again, I smiled with contentment to say, wow, thank you. That was a compliment. Mm-hmm. You know, because the world has changed and our business is more desirable than ever before. Mr. Harrison Mills, let's jump over to page 98. At the last paragraph, the last sentence says, but in network marketing, a long-term strategy is essential. What'd you say to that, sir?
Absolutely. You know, as we go out and we seek different people to join us in our venture, partner with us in what we do. And some people, it looks like, oh, this is it. You are the one, you know, but then you skip over the small, the Davids of the people. Yeah. He was not the strongest or the most resilient he would look, but the difference is the heart. He looked at the heart.
Yeah, that's right.
How much heart do you have? You just never know who that might be in having that long-term essential. So I guess my long way of saying, speak to everyone.
There you go. Miss Roxanne, he was talking about the next paragraph. He had a conversation with a successful diamond broker on page 98. And at a wedding he attended at Dana Point. And we were talking about the difference between an owner and an employee. He said, because an owner will treat the business very different than an employee. He says owners have a long-term perspective, last paragraph, and understanding that a lot gets invested up front for returns that may come years down the road. Building a business requires a much different mindset. There it is. American West Airlines started as a result of deregulation of the airlines. But more important, I like how he broke down the difference, how business owners think and how employees think. Do you want to comment on that, Ms. Roxanne?
Absolutely, because when I was reading this, I just thought about how I treat people on my team, my volunteer army, and they're all owners, but how other people will treat employees in a business sense just as employees. I remember there was a company I worked with, and if you put in a number of years in with that company, they will give you stock in the business because they want to keep you, because they want you to start thinking like an owner. And that is so essential, and that's how you keep people around. But if you treat them as employees, they will leave you just thinking that they are just an employee and they're replaceable.
Yeah, that's a good point. Silicon Valley started that way with a lot of these new IPOs started, and they wanted stock in the company. I mean, think about people got stock in Apple, people got stock in Amazon. Think where they're sitting today. They got stock, they have ownership, and some people not. I don't want ownership. I just give me a paycheck. And this, how many people probably said no to those opportunities? And what do you think they're doing today? Kicking themselves because they didn't take a little bit of ownership in the stock and what have you. So that's powerful. All right, I'm going to jump over to here to page 99, the second paragraph down. Imagine planting oak trees, digging the holes and placing acorns in each hole. He talks about what it would cost and getting paid $100 or $1,000 a month once the tree got 5 feet. And that was a pretty good analogy in here. I don't know if you guys really dug into that, but that was pretty profound when he talked about how he looked at how a tree would grow and so his money would grow. Do you want to comment on that, Ms. Williams?
And it was profound, especially when you think about the fact he starts out with the fact that you don't make hardly anything for the first 2-3 years, but you hit that 5-year mark, that 10-year mark.
Oh yeah,
good money.
Yeah.
As long as you let the tree grow.
Stick with it.
Let your business grow.
Right. And don't jump to something else. Stick with it. Right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, dear. I'm sorry. Will you finish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all right. That was good. That was juicy right there. Woo. Mr. Harrison Mills.
That sentence, do you have the patience for your plants to grow into mature trees and then eventually spawn new plants, which means that one acorn makes a forest. It makes a forest, but it takes time off of just one acorn. A couple of plants plotting in there. And the other thing I like about it, once again, if we just have been seen just from a distance, this man is once again talking in numbers. And if that doesn't spoke anything, I was like, hey, I need to change my vocabulary.
I'm going to go down to the last paragraph on page 99, Ms. Roxanne. It says the number one downfall of network marketers is a short attention span. The average business builder does one of two things. They either build for the short term and have a setback and quit, or they build for the short time, have a setback and take a 2-week to 2-month break, and then they get re-energized only to do it all over again.
So true. I will say that was me in the beginning.
Okay.
Every setback, I'd say I need a break. And so I always said I'm building a start-stop business, and you can't gain any momentum or traction with a start-stop business. But I feel like just because our society is that way these days, this related to me and everything. And I'm like, just think about dating. When people date, they only think short term. If they have a setback, they're like, I'm getting off all the apps. I'm not dating anymore. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. And then they start again. It kind of resonated with me the same way.
Okay, I like your analogy. Okay. I'm going to go to page 100. He talks about in the second paragraph, there are 3 things to prevent or fix the problem of a short-term attention span. Number 1, realize that you are a company owner. Number 2, stay close to the fire. And number 3, let it go. Miss Kathleen Williams, comment on all 3 of those.
All 3 of those. Yes, you are the owner of the company. And as the owner of the company, you're the one that's making the decisions, solving the problems. You started the company for a reason. And once you start that company, you need to be able to show everyone, including your detractors, what your mission is and what you plan on accomplishing. And let go of the stuff you have no control over, because there's going to be a lot of it, like the talk of all your detractors telling you how you'll never succeed.
Yeah, so true. Wow, so true. Let go. Let go and let God. Mr. Mills.
I looked at this as the person that is the voice of reason for me, which is my mother. And so I read this in her tone of voice. If she needed to knock some sense in me, realize that you are a company owner. Just in the way that she would come at me, stay close to the fire and let it go. Let it all go. The one thing about it, I think number 2 really resonates with me is staying close to the fire. It is so easy to distance yourself. You get off your track. That's why consistency is very important. To go on there, to make it your standard. Not saying you can't, you might fall off or so, but your standard is consistency. Moving it versus inconsistency, So that one really stuck with me. Finding ways to plug in. What kind of personal development am I looking at? Am I changing my vocabulary to numbers?
Good, very good. I like that. Wow, Miss Roxanne Corleo.
Yeah, I think if this is taught in schools, I mean, people would start off their professional careers so much better, to treat everything like they're a business owner, stay close to the fire, stay plugged in. Nowadays, man, I talk to some moms where their kids just do a whole bunch of online learning and they're not a part of any group, any organization. So how are they supposed to really know how things work? It's the same thing in network marketing. If you're not involved in the community or events, how do you really know what's going on in other places and how to do things the good way and how to stay away from the bad ways? And then, of course, let it go. That's just a lesson we all need to take in life. Get rid of the stuff that's not controllable.
Absolutely. I like that. And sometimes it's just clean. Yeah. There you go. I like that. Let's jump over to chapter 21 on page 101. Managing your team. And I'm going to drop down here. It says, how do you manage such a large group of people? I know that some people actually don't build a business because they are convinced that it will just take too much time to manage a team. Now, I really love this part here. Not a day goes by that someone doesn't say, you work so hard. First, I want to share with you how I work. And second, I want to share with you why you don't need to work hard to build a large beach money income. Wow. And he says this, when I work, I'm extremely focused. Unless you are my close friends, you don't hear from me. And when I'm not working, because I'm not working. So he takes time to understand and categorize. When I'm in the zone, leave me alone. And when I'm not, I can socialize a little bit. Miss Williams.
And I think that's important. And it goes back to this short-term thinking, short attention span, is that he points out the fact that when he's working, he does 4-hour blocks of time. Mm-hmm. And for me, this chapter has really resonated with me of how I need to focus more on the business. And I can still have more time. I can still have more time with my family. I can still have more time with my friends. Take those 4 hours, 2 or 3 days, 4 days a week, and you'd be surprised what you can get accomplished in 4 hours versus 1 hour, 10 minutes every other day. You can get more accomplished.
Yeah.
I like schedule.
Yeah. I like what he said. Number one, my typical schedule. Number one, I work about 4 hours per day. During my work, I will do 3-way calls with my members of my team, sharing my opportunity, holding a small group meeting or training on a webinar. So he takes time to build, but he takes 4 hours because he condenses his time down and he gets more done. He says by answering emails or returning phone calls, he says the other 24 hours a day, I sleep, work, socialize, study, read, travel, and so on. But he condensed everything down to 4 powerful hours of concentration of nothing but laser focusedness. And then he says, once a week, I take 1 or 2 days off and go to the mountains. I can attest to that. We've done that several times. I will take an hour or two and return calls and emails. He's done so well that, and I think the essence of this is taking the time and condensing it down. Some of you folks out there listening, you have a full-time job. We understand that. I started my industry in network marketing an hour or 2 a day my first year, and then I went to 3 hours, and the third year I was financially free. And third thing he says, about once every 2 months, he'll take a week off, take a trip, vacation, training, not 1 or 2 weeks per year like it's normal. No, he takes it off every month. Right now he's over in Europe. So, I mean, Mr. Mills, you want to?
I don't look at it as R&R. I look at those as mental health days. I mean, even with honestly, with those 4 hours, the the socializing, the mental extreme focus that you're giving that, and that you've dedicated yourself to that, you need to make sure that you stay. That can really wear on a body, on a mental part. So I say, hey, go to Europe, enjoy yourself, so that you can once again do it again. But I think it's very much, as far as this is needed. We see the 4 hours, but those 4 hours feel like probably 8 hours or so.
Yeah.
But that's definitely needed, not just a day, but a month.
Yeah, to condense it down and then take some time to rejuvenate yourself and get fired up again. Walk away, smell the coffee, see the roses, whatever, and come on back and go to work again. Miss Roxanne?
I can really relate to this because I hear it a lot, even still now. First, when I had my locksmith company, but even now that I'm just so busy. When people say, "Hey, Roxanne, I know you're so busy, but can you? But can we? Can this? Can you make some time?" Whatever it is, and in a way, I'm like, I keep myself busy. It's not that I'm busy. So when people are like, "Man, I just don't want to work as hard as you," and I'm like, well, I mean, today I went to my chiropractic appointment. I got a massage. I did a dinner, had a drink. I mean, you're right. I work so stinking hard, but I am busy because I keep myself busy, but I make time for those that I need to and want to make time for. And people don't realize that I'm not working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week anymore. And it's just hard for them to comprehend. If you're occupied and not sitting in front of a TV, then you have to be busy.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I like the last option. Had a cocktail. Okay. On page 102, here's some of the tips I took in the last 12 months. Number 1, I went to Europe for a week. Number 2, Caribbean cruise for a week. Number 3, Tony Robbins Unleash the Power workshop 1 week. Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny workshop 1 week. Chicago to visit my family for 2 weeks. Venice Beach, California, 30 days. Spread out over 12 months. Wow. And he said, this does not include the 2 to 3 days off per week in the mountains in Arizona. Yes, it is. Yes, if this is work, I work so hard. But people don't realize that, because once you build it, it's like trying to catch a wave from behind. But once you catch that wave going into the beach, it'll take you all the way in. And he took time to build it. Who did I leave off with? Miss Williams.
That's so true. And the other thing is, when I look at his what he did in the last 12 months, he's got 2 weeks that are nothing but, yes, they are educational courses, but they're also networking, meeting other people, picking each other's brains. And that gets to be important in network marketing or any business to help you grow, because you may overhear a conversation, be involved in a conversation, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how they solved that problem. And down the road, when it pops into your business, you can go, oh, now I know how to handle this.
Yeah. Good point. Not only is he networking, he's getting to the next level. See, I tell a lot of times people, you can't get to the next level because you're not preparing yourself to get to the next level. And as he does these Tony Robbins' workshop, meeting like-minded people that can help you turbocharge your business, turbocharge you, and the connections you meet are second to none. I was looking at some pictures of my daughter, because my kids went to private school. The connections I met, amazing connections. But that's what part of building a business is all about, a relationship. And Mr. Harrison Mills, I'm going to go down a sentence or two. He says, each person who joins you in an independent business owner is responsible for his or her own business. And that's so true, sir. And you can comment on his trips and as well as that, sir.
Yeah, well, all of it. It just has me think, for one, how many trips do people make, vacations? Maybe 1, maybe 2 within a year. And here this man, we're counting 6. And he's not even including, once again, Arizona, the mountains and things like this. So I'm like, wow. But the other cool thing is that you're looking at that almost as like a low-key vacation, the workshops with Tony Robbins, which you understand the essential of business to the point where now it's fun. This is something I enjoy going to. This isn't going to be, and I've never been to a Tony Robbins, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's exclusive.
It's pricey.
I'm pretty sure. But then the other thing, yes, it is your business. It is something that you you want to convey with them, that this is not, especially if you're recruiting someone that is from an employee mindset,
Yeah.
to switch over to know that you're an entrepreneur now. This is something that and I say that right from the beginning. I say it right from the beginning. Just let you know, I'm not going to be like this. Now. You want to do it, you want to do it. If you want to go one forward steps, I'll go two. If you go back one, I'll go step back two.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. He has a place on the strip here. He has another place in the mountains here in Vegas, in Mount Charleston, a beautiful rustic place in Mount Charleston. And I've been up there many times, and he has a place in Jerome up in the mountains in Arizona. So he has 3 homes he lives between. And yeah, and to see his growth, to be knowing him all these years, of dear friends. And sometime we'll take the helicopter, take the doors over, and fly over to Pahrump, have lunch, and then we fly back.
Who do you rub elbows with? Is all I hear.
It's association. That's right. Miss Roxanne Corlena, let's go down to I'm going to go to the last paragraph on page 102. If you're moving quickly in a new business and you are personally bringing in about 1 person per week, I don't recommend sponsoring more than 1 per week if you plan on doing a good job getting a new distributor started. He says, number 1, you sign them up. Number 2, you train them for 1 hour. And number 3, you help them bring their first two or three people. That's it. Any other phone calls or visits are strictly social or a periodical coaching call. Wow.
I mean,
Comment.
so simple.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we get distracted by, is we think we need to bring in 5 people a week. And then we have a whole bunch of turnover because you don't have the time or set aside the time to train and develop 5 people a week. He said 1 hour. That's all it took, is 1 hour. Help them get a couple people. But then if we're so focused on getting in 5 a week, that we're not helping them get focused on getting, which it should be, 1 a week.
Wow. That's so true. I'm gonna pause it for a second. Let everybody catch that. What if you just did 1 a week and help that person get launched, and then help them get their 2 to 3, and then you launch another person, because now they're tagged, like playing a game of tag, you're it. I love it. On page 103, at the bottom of the page, network marketing creates an even playing field for anyone with the desire for success, regardless of the financial, educational, or cultural background. As a result of this profession, I have been able to develop a passive income that has allowed me to relocate to a beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm blessed to have the freedom of a business that travels with me wherever I go. Miss Kathleen Williams.
That's the advantage of network marketing. It goes with you wherever you go. And the other thing that, it points out in here is network marketing. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is, where you came from. The old laughing joke about whether you're from Yale or Harvard, or whether you're from jail, you can still succeed. And I think that's important because it keeps you moving forward, knowing that anyone can do it.
Yep. We don't care if you're from Yale or from jail. And the power, and when I was sitting there thinking about this, when I was reading this the other day, again, on Sunday for today's review, I thought about my buddies golfing Saturday. I said, they are tied down. I have more freedom than they have, and they do very well. Don't get me wrong. And I just sat there and I kept saying, God, I thank you. Because sometimes we misunderstand the fortunate part that we have. They have to go check in. I can hang at their office, have lunch with them all day. But they have to be there. So that's a blessing in this business. Mr. Harrison Mills, what do you want to say about that?
Well, I want to just comment on what you said. That's for one, you had the wisdom to start something some years ago, knowing that I need to change this and to do something that you built. So thank you just for even that, and mentoring many people from here. The playing field. I have to remind myself that sometimes it's not a battlefield. It's a playing field for myself, because sometimes it feels like it is war, and sometimes it should be. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes It is there, the mental parts of it, but at the same time, have fun, enjoy this. You
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the top of page 104, Miss Roxanne, because this I think of you when I was reading this the other day. It says occasionally there are times when your distributors are not very active in the business and may need to lean on you to pick them up. So I think of you because I know you're a great, not saying motivator, you're a great people person because you connect. Because people can motivate, but that's not what we're after. We want people that can connect to people and get them going, and that's a quality that you have here. That's very amazing.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
really, truly important for you to connect because we are in the people person business and a lot of people forget that part of it. But then he goes on to saying, be careful about crippling your group. Ooh, that stung because that was me. I'm that yes girl, whatever you need, I'm there. How can I support? And doing everything for someone to where I was crippling my group and I had to be there and they could not do stuff on their own, or not that they couldn't, they just didn't have the confidence in themselves. So that's why when I gave the example of that young lady who called me to do a presentation and I just said, are you presenting? It came off as a you're presenting. So she said, okay. And she did it. And
Yeah.
so all you have to do is, yes, be there for them to support them. Just me being there, she felt comfortable. So she ran with it no matter what. And now she has the confidence because especially the fact that he said yes to go out and do it again.
And now that you were there to support her by just being there. Sometimes it's about being there.
Yep.
Amazing. This is amazing. They're amazing. I'm going to go to this half part of the page there. It says replace yourself. Here's why. Here's a way to turbocharge your team. Your goal is to replace yourself quickly. This is so important. I'm going to drop down a couple more sentences. It says replace yourself means finding and training others to do my job better than I can do. Oh, I love that. Miss Williams.
I love it too. And I will be very honest, through my entire, especially my last 15 to 20 years of nursing, my whole goal was to find all of those younger nurses to replace me as fast as they could. And I kept reminding them, I'm not going to be around forever. You need to learn to do this. And some of them finally stepped up, but some of them never did. And my whole goal, even in network marketing, is who's going to replace me? Who's going to replace me? Who's going to replace me? Because there's plenty of people out there that are a whole lot better than I am that can replace me.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna, Mr. Mills, I'm gonna drop down the last paragraph of this page. He says, in reality, I learned that by training others to do my job, I become more valuable to my company. Yes, I would lose my job only to be offered a better opportunity. So a lot of times people understand in the marketplace where we're in, we want them to be better than us. In a job situation, they're a threat to us because they may take our job. But in network marketing, we want to see everybody succeed and run past us because I'm everybody's best cheerleader. I love that. Mr. Williams. Mr. Mills, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm going to say go a different route. I was going to say something else, but I'm going to go a different route.
Okay. You're allowed to do that.
Right. But I guess the main thing for me is, you go Mills Company, and now I can say Mills and Sons Company, and with that, I think the one thing with my faith is I love about it is it's relational, and through it, there's grace of adoption into a family. And that's exactly what this is. And you can adopt anyone you want to by giving grace along with it. We're saying, come join us. You can do something like this. You can own your own business. I want to replace myself and create a culture where now I'm like this. What, as I say, Mr. Al Thomas does this. He's, shaking hands and kissing babies.
Waving at folks, yeah. Miss Roxanne Corleo, I'm going to go over the last paragraph on page 105. It says, as you train others to do what you do, they are now positioned to earn more money and to establish a beach money lifestyle for themselves. You are rewarded for helping others get what they want, period. Ta-da!
That's what the whole thing is about. You help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want. I mean, mic drop, close the book. You can end it there.
Mhm.
That's
And
the
we are.
whole purpose of it. And I think sometimes when some people ask me questions and I refer them back to the website or their back office, and I know they get frustrated, and I'm teaching you where to find these, not because I don't want to look. I know the answer off the top of my head, but I'm not going to give it to you because you need to know the answer so you can show someone else. And that's just, if you show them to do exactly the way you do and achieve your level of success, they will overachieve.
Mhm.
They will exceed you. And that's exactly what we want in this business.
There you go. I want to give a shout out, Miss Lorraine out here from Vegas, one of my biggest cheerleaders. How you doing, young lady? I also want to thank people out there in Iraq. No, wait, I'm sorry, Europe. There we go, England. Hey, I want to share this with you. I want to get everybody's comment as we close this call out tonight. And by the way, we're going through chapter 22, 23, and 24 next week. But right now, I want everybody to give me a synopsis of what you got out of chapters 19, 20, and 21 tonight. Miss Williams, we'll start with you.
1, get rid of the TV. 2, realize that what your ultimate goal is, and it comes out in this chapter, especially the last chapter. Your ultimate goal is to replace yourself. And as you replace yourself, you give everybody a chance to have their own beach money and their beachfront home or wherever they want. And it says you guided them and helped them. And it doesn't mean you manage them. It just means you guided them and helped them.
Perfect. Thank you, dude. That was amazing. Mr. Mills.
Well, I can't get rid of my television. I have a little 4-year-old who will be very upset with me. But what I can do is repurpose my television and create what I would like to see on there. Self-development things. And the next thing for me would be longevity. The other one would be extreme focus to the point where I can replace myself.
It's powerful. That's the power of network marketing, to replace ourselves. When you've done that, you know you're doing a good job. And then go get another and do the same thing. I love it. Miss Roxanne Corley-Ho.
So this is a little more personal to me, and it might not relate to other people, but for me, these chapters were just reaffirming me that I'm on the right track. And I mean, these are all lessons that we've learned in network marketing, all lessons we've gone through in training, and I've had to make sure I'm able to implement them and show and share with other people the same things I've learned. So I just know that I'm on the right track, and I'll be picking you up in a helicopter, and we'll pull off those doors and fly over the Grand Canyon, and that'll be me. So it's just assuring to know that I'm doing things right, and we just got to keep moving forward. And that's it. Success doesn't show up immediately. Like we said, it takes time, and it's for the longevity.
Yeah. Thank you all. That was powerful. As I got out of the book, these chapters, here's a friend of mine who struggled, and I knew when he was struggling, and I watched him get over here, start making real good money, and then explode because he kept with it. Doctors go to school 15 years and come out to get a piece of paper and to practice medicine, which they don't know it. A lawyer goes to school for 8, 9 years to come out to practice law, which means they don't know it. I always say they practice on your bank account. And here we have a business that in that same amount of time, you can make more money than they do, or combined with a lot of them do. You can make more money than 80% of them combined. But here again, it's something that we don't understand. I think more and more people, because of the way the world's going, is looking at alternatives. Now we call it side hustles. But in reality, it's opening people's up to the reality where an economy is going down. What are you doing when inflation is eating up your dollars and you have no investments? You can't afford to buy a house. What about gold and silver? What about your own business? And that's one thing I was listening to Warren Buffett this morning. Tape is playing about ownership. He talked about ownership versus an employee. Total different. I want to build an asset. Remember, assets feed you, as Robert Kiyosaki said. Assets feed you and liabilities eat you. We just got to keep developing. And ladies and gentlemen, this book is for every one of you to go get a copy of it. My dear friend, I'm telling you, you guys need this and read it and reread it and take notes.
Good.
and then implement what you learn. So I just want to say thank you, Miss Kathleen Williams from Sacramento tonight, Mr. Harrison Mills down in Fresno, California, Ms. Roxanne Correlator in San Antonio, Texas, the Taco Lady. Tomorrow is a big taco day around the United States of America. I'm going to go to my little vegan place and get my little free taco tomorrow because they give away for the first 100 people. So if I'm late to the call, no, I'm just kidding. With that said, everybody out in the audience around the world, we thank you for joining in. We appreciate your time. Hit the like button. If you haven't not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. That way you'll be alerted when we come out with the next one next week. Thank you so much in the studio. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Take care. God bless. And as always, we'll see you at the top. Or we'll see you over the top. Have a blessed. Thank you for joining us in All Things Business Book Review.